Children as young as 10 could be prosecuted for making hoax 999 calls. Cambridgeshire Fire Service says it's received 250 hoax calls already this year, and it's decided to get tough with the children behind many of them. Faye Southwell reports.
The Fire Service control room, a busy operation. Every year they receive thousands of calls, but not all of them are genuine.
I've just spoken to the operator and they've given me a different address that you're phoning from. So are you telling me that you still want us to send a fire engine to you? No. Why have you called 999 then? I don't know.
But hoax calls risk lives. If a fire crew is sent out on a bogus call, when there's a real fire or road crash, it's often not in the right place.
We treat every call we receive as a real emergency, and obviously if we're at a hoax call, that's using up our fire engines, so we can't actually attend proper calls, and it really is jeopardising people's lives on a daily basis.
In the past, the Fire Service wouldn't prosecute a child under 16. Now it says it will prosecute children as young as 10 who make prank calls.
From the age of 10 upwards, children know what they're doing, they know why they're doing it, and I guess what we're saying as a Fire Service is just think carefully. Think about the consequences of what you're actually doing, the impact it could have, and don't do it.
New technology means all calls can be traced. Youngsters are being warned.
That's a very serious thing that you've just done. So I'm going to pass your details to the police and this call is being recorded.
And with the added threat of a £5,000 fine, the Fire Service is hoping its tough stance will work. Faye Southwell, BBC Look East, Huntingdon.
The funeral of Sir Bobby Robson, the former manager of Ipswich Town, has been held today at a private family service. A spokesman for his family said they've been overwhelmed by the tributes that have poured in since his death last week. A Thanksgiving service will be held later. More job losses have been announced by the food company Bernard Matthews. 44 jobs are going at Holton in Suffolk and at Great Witchingham in Norfolk. The redundancies will affect managers, supervisors and engineers. The company says it's to increase efficiency.
Nightclub owners in Norwich are holding a meeting with police and residents this evening to discuss safety outside the city's clubs. They want Prince of Wales Road, which runs through the club heartland, to be pedestrianised. I spoke to one of them, Richard Atto, beforehand. He said the area was designed for a 9-to-5 culture, but now deals with a very different scene.
Research has shown that up to 19,000 people can be on the Prince of Wales Road at any given time on a Saturday night. That's, of course, transient, people coming and going. To guard that sort of people, that sort of number of people all in one street is a very, very difficult thing to do. To deal with the added complications of traffic and that kind of thing, it's going to make things, it's going to exasperate any problems.
How big a problem do you think it is? Is it getting worse and worse?
I think the economy down there is getting bigger and bigger. I can think of 3 venues at the moment that are currently undergoing refurbishment for opening later on this year. I think there are streets across the region that would die for that kind of investment. But basically, it's only going to get more prolific unless something is done by all of the authorities concerned.
Surely one of the major issues also are drink and drugs. I know that one of the nightclubs is actually bringing in a new specialised system to check for drugs, but you nightclub owners do have your role to play in this.
Absolutely. We're obligated under all of our licensing conditions to ensure that we're never selling drink to somebody knowingly and overtly overly drunk, and we do adhere to that. I must stress that we're so heavily regulated now. It's very difficult for us, to bend or break the rules. We're checked every week. There's health and safety, environmental health implications. So, we are heavily regulated, and of course, as you say, we're working very strongly with the police to prevent any kind of abuse of drug or drink.
Richard Atto. A Royal Mail depot in Ipswich was evacuated today during a security alert. Around 100 staff were cleared from the building when a suspicious package was found. Chemical experts were sent to the building in Commercial Road. It turned out to be harmless. The package had been leaking white powder. Fire and ambulance crews were put on standby as a precaution.
The police say the safety of drivers is being put at risk by the theft of road signs. In the last month, 283 have disappeared in Suffolk alone. They've all been taken from villages near the A14. The police are asking witnesses to come forward.
283 road signs, all taken within a 12.5-mile radius of Bury St Edmunds, all taken at night with no witnesses. There's deep frustration in the worst-hit villages. In Rougham, they've lost 24 signs.
It's an accident hazard. Could be concealed turnings and anything, and we have a lot of children in the village, and we're very concerned about it. And what I'd like to say to the people who are stealing, please can we have our signs back?
Another impact of the thefts is the money involved. Each road sign costs the taxpayer between £50 and £100 to buy and install. The County Council is replacing signs as needed, but it's an expense they could well do without.
Where we have mandatory signs, we're trying to replace those ex-stock, so they'll have to be replaced with aluminium again. But where they're non-mandatory, we're ordering up plastic signs.
The police are investigating the series of thefts, and while safety is one of their main concerns, they tend to think the thieves are stealing the aluminium signs to sell as scrap.
We have been working with the scrap metal dealers. My staff across the Western area have been visiting them to see whether they are taking any road signs in, but we're not really having any success in that particular area.
All of the signs taken have been in quiet rural locations close to the A14. Local people are being urged to be vigilant and report anyone seen tampering with a road sign. Carol Bundock, BBC Look East, Suffolk.